Hey, good morning, Nick. How you
Good
doing,
morning,
buddy? What's happening?
Yeah.
You're all cheery this morning.
Yeah, because I'm getting out of Florida.
Where are you going?
Going to New York.
Awesome, cool.
Yeah.
Getting away from the BS for a little while?
Yeah, why don't you ask me how many more cars are in the garage?
How many cars are in the garage,
It's a
Nick?
two-car garage, Alan.
Why are you going to New York? A wedding?
Yeah, a couple reasons.
Yeah.
Take care of some business.
Well, that's good.
Wedding. Seeing an old friend.
Pleasure trip?
Well, of course.
Good.
Thanks to the Book of Face, you can connect with people from high school.
Yeah. I was surprised when you told me how much Facebook meant to your business. When you told that number yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I track everything.
Wow.
I track the demographics that come in. You know, I mean, 65% of our business is females.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, we rely a lot on the daily work, stuff that comes in every day.
Right. And you have two good kids. That's for sure.
Alan?
No,
That's all you, buddy.
No, that is not.
That's all you.
What is that, a Chevelle or a Malibu? Aren't they the same?
I'm starving.
Where do you want to go?
I don't want to eat, but I'm starving from all the smell of the hemp in here. Christ.
I got
So we
some.
don't get freaking pulled over. I won't make it to the flight.
Yeah, you will. It's legal, you know.
Legal for malingual, but not malingual. What is it? Medicinal purposes.
Medicinal purposes.
I met a kid. He said, I hired him. He's like, well, you know, I had my card.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, oh, you got a medical issue? Yeah, PTSD. 18 years old and he's got PTSD.
Yeah.
He didn't last long. I put the sign up at that fire station.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
This one here is the one you worked at? Or you just put the sign up?
Well, one of them. I worked at all of them. Pretty much all of them in the county, except for some of the municipalities.
That's awesome, man. That takes a special kind of person to do that.
Yeah. Somebody with real mental problems.
Okay, that's enough of that.
Drive-by cars with Alan.
You know how that started?
Let me guess.
How?
Picture it. The Land.
No?
2011.
No?
Alan is sitting in his truck, hitting the devil's lettuce. And he had an idea. Let me create drive-by cars with Alan.
Yeah, 2011 is a little early.
No. For the devil's lettuce or drive-by cars with Alan?
Drive-by cars with Alan. It all started by accident.
How did it start, Alan?
Let's see. We go back to my father died in 2014. When my father died, he left me pretty much where I could do whatever the hell I wanted to do type of thing. You know, I still had to work.
He left you a lot of money, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
You just don't want to say that because you're recording.
Yeah, so...
He left you a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's okay to say it. I mean, it happens.
So...
When I die, I'm going to leave my kids a lot of money.
Are you really?
What they do with it,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's up to them.
Yeah.
Or I can spend it all before I die. Maybe I should do that.
Yeah. But I quit work for about a year and just farted around at the yard, cleaning up the yard, you know, started my gardening.
Oh, because you're a botanist.
Because I'm a botanist, yeah.
You're like the guy on Meet the Fockers. He was a botanist.
Was he? Never saw the movie. But, yeah, I took a year off and I got very bored. I bought a kayak, started kayaking, bought a bicycle, started bicycling, and nothing really, you know, fulfilled me. So I went back to work. I went and got a job at a fire sprinkler company, just driving a truck, delivering fire sprinkler parts, just to have something to do for 8 hours a day. COVID hit. What was it, 2019?
No.
When was it, 2020?
No, 2019.
Was it? Yeah. And I got laid off from that company. Well, when I was doing the kayaking, I had bought that GoPro camera.
Is this before or after you were a ticket taker at the Haunted Mansion at Disney?
This was long after. Long after that. We'll get into the Disney thing again here shortly.
I'm sure we will.
Yeah, you're going to have a good long ride finding all about Alan. We'll put this on my channel.
Yeah. These automatic door locks.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to COVID. You got COVID in 2019.
No, I never got COVID. I've never had it. But I got laid off from there, and I grabbed that GoPro camera and I took off on a 10-day trip. My daughter was over in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
She's getting ready to get married, so I took her some money up there. Gave her some money for her wedding, and while I was driving through South Carolina, I saw up on a hill just a 57 Bel Air, and I said, let me pull in there and just talk to this guy. And that was the first time I ever took my camera and walked around it.
Yeah.
A car, and I was hooked. Once that happened, I was hooked.
On the devil's lettuce or
No,
the cars?
on the cars. Yeah. And came back here to Central Florida after that trip. It was a 10-day trip. Come back here, and it was just before Father's Day. And I found out they were having the car show down there at the church on Father's Day. Went over there, and that's how I started meeting all the East Coast cruisers, and then started the YouTube channel, and it just kind of snowballed.
East Coast Cruisers, that's the local club.
Yeah.
Who's the president?
Pat Tian. Yeah. So how'd you get started in cars?
My dad, you know, I was living in New York, and my dad worked for Con Edison, the power company, and on the side, he was doing vinyl tops and convertible tops for some of the local car dealers, and he decided that he wanted to retire from Con Ed and move to Florida and open up a business doing convertible tops and vinyl tops, headliners. He wasn't sewing at the time. I remember him buying his first sewing machine and doing his first interior in the garage. I'd sit there at night watching him, you know, cut the patterns and notch them, and, you know, his frustrations every time he broke a goddamn needle on the machine. Never really realized that one day those would be my frustrations.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Then he had a business. Watching it grow and come to realize, you know, he taught me how to do it, and I worked for him. But
When did he start teaching you how to do it?
I was 11.
11. Wow.
He actually had one of his employees a whole summer. I worked with one of his sewers, this old guy named Paul Arnold. Real grouchy old man. But he'd buy me lunch, and I would sew with him. We would eat Braunschweiger sandwiches.
What were they?
Liverwurst.
Oh, No.
Let's split the sandwiches. You ever eat liverwurst now?
No, there's a reason why I've never eaten liverwurst.
Yeah. The smell?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it smells better than this goddamn truck. So anyway, back to the story.
Yeah.
So I came to the realization that I didn't want to do that business. Because I saw the aggravation and the BS that came along with it. And, you know, back then, just, you know, all the cutthroats out there and everybody, you know, back then you would do a headliner for $49.95.
Wow.
And somebody would come in and, well, so-and-so said he'll do it for $39.95. And you look at the calendar, you don't have anything on the schedule. So it's like, yeah, Nick, pull around, do it for $39. So I'd have to do, just to make ends meet, 5-6 headliners a day.
Wow.
You know? Now, headliners, I mean, you get the garage, I call them the garage rangers out there, and the mobile guys doing them for, you know, $175. I don't see how they make any money doing them at the buy here, pay here lots. We're not going to do them for that kind of money. I'd rather do one headliner and get $500-600, get what we're worth a day than 5.
Right.
So
a lot of cutthroats out there, huh?
Yeah. So yeah, so I'm like, heck with it. I want to be a cop. So I went to college for criminal justice, played some baseball, and had some fun, and
Baseball.
yeah, tried to get on the police department, and of course that went to crap real fast. You know why?
Mm-mm. Why?
Well, it wasn't because I was a criminal. I had a bad driving record.
You did?
Oh, horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Speeding?
Speeding, drag
Right.
racing. I mean,
Okay.
back then you could, Friday night, you'd spend Friday night on the back streets drag racing, you know, listening to Def Leppard, you know, wearing a bandana around your neck. I mean, back then it was cool. You know?
Right.
It was a lot of fun back then. But yeah, so I couldn't do that. So I left college for criminal justice and drove right to the local fire station and applied that day. And the chief questioned my driving record. And I says, well, you know, it is what it is. In 3 years, all the tickets will be off. And he said to me, his name was Kevin Moore, and he was really good friends with my cousin, who was a battalion chief for the county. And he says, you know what? He goes, we're gonna bring you on board on the recommendation of your cousin. He says, but if you get one goddamn ticket, you're gone. Sure as shit.
Uh-oh.
2 weeks later, I got freaking pulled over.
Uh-oh.
But I was able to talk my way out of it, thank God. And that's how I started my career. City of Punta Gorda. They put me through fire school and EMT school. And that was in 93, 94, 97, end of 96, early 97. I took a job with DeSoto County in the center of the state. And then in 99, or 97, I should say, my twin brother came here to Volusia. And he had some family here. And he called me up and said, hey, you know, this place is going to expand. We're going to be hiring like 30 more people and not a lot of experience here. And, you know, you should come over. Yeah, at the time, you know, the girl I was with left. So I was single. And I said, what have I got to lose? So I applied, went through the process, and got hired.
Awesome.
And that was in 99. January 27th was my first day in 1999. And, by 2001, I was promoted to lieutenant, 2002 captain, and moved through the ranks pretty quick, all the way up to division chief. I spent, I would say, 80% of my career I was a supervisor.
Wow.
Always in operations. Always. A lot of sleepless nights.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Pretty much, if there was some type of, you know, tragedy in Volusia County, seeing, I mean, I was there.
Wow. The whole county?
Because I was, back then, as a battalion chief, I ran the whole county. With the exception of the cities, but even in the city enclaves, there was always a county truck there.
Wow.
So, saw a lot of tragedy.
I bet you have.
That's why when I hear these young kids, you know, chewing on grandpa's lettuce or whatever, that you know, for PTSD, I'm like, geez.
Yeah.
I never needed to, you know, rely on hallucinogenics to get through my day. But it is what it is. You know, I mean, I loved the career. I loved helping people, and you know, the good Lord put me in the spot for a reason. So.
Well, that's with everybody.
Yeah. Then my twin was here. He passed away in 18 from heart issues related to the job. So when he passed away, I kind of put it in the back of my mind that my career was going to be short-lived. As soon as I got to my pension year, that I would retire. Plus, I was so tired of the fire union. It was exhausting.
All the politics?
The politics and the fire union.
Yeah.
You know, you never gave enough. You just could not give enough. You know, you look at some of the firefighters that went through the department during the hard times, during the recession, when headquarters would call down and say, get me a count on all the rolls of toilet paper and paper towels and truck soap, and we're going to have to disperse any overages to the other stations because funds were low.
Wow.
I mean, there were really hard times in the fire service back then. Now, you know, you can never pay them enough. You can never give them enough benefits. It's just constant. So it was time for me. You know, I happily retired.
Wow.
I mean, you go to a station and you tell them to pick up their drawers off the floor, and hostile work environment.
Because you tell them to be clean?
Yeah, because they would treat the quarters like it was a college dorm.
Wow.
I had this one clown, you know, filed a hostile work environment on me because I asked him to pick up his drawers from the floor. I was on him. I mean, like I could say it now, I'm retired. I was on the guy. I was looking every day. Okay? He was worthless. We should have never hired him. I told, you know, a bunch of us told, why are we hiring this guy? So yeah, one day I go to the station, his drawers are on the floor. It looks like a college dorm. So yeah, that kind of stuff would make me very hostile.
I bet. I can't live like that either. Couldn't do it.
No, I was very, you know, pay attention to detail. Keep the stations clean. They're taxpayers' money.
Right.
It's not our money.
Right.
I had this one clown come in one day and, hey, you know, because we used to take care of the yard at the station. We would, you know, cut the grass and stick edge, and I mean, I was all about that. And he came in and he's like, oh, you got to go by. I can't do my job today. The weed whacker's broke. Well, what's wrong with it? It won't run. So I'm like, go get it. So he brings it in. The thing looked like it'd been sitting outside for 6 months. I'm like, I can't take care of it. It's old, it's worthless, get us a new one. And I'm like, no. Put it on the bench, pull the plug, put some fresh gas, you know, fresh mixed fuel in it.
Right.
Okay, it's pretty simple, right? Fuel and spark.
Right.
It doesn't take a whole lot. It's not rocket science. You can work an AED. You can't work a weed whacker. So we got it going. And I ended up, you know, a couple weeks later, I had to get him a new one because they made sure that it, you know, wasn't serviceable.
Right, yeah.
Just to, you know, stick it to us. But what troubled me was a couple weeks later, he'd come pulling in with his lawn service truck. And the equipment he had on his lawn service truck was ancient. So I went out there, and I'm like, man, you got some old stuff. He goes, yeah, I take care of it, Chief. It lasts forever. I'm like, that's funny. You'll take care of your stuff, but you won't take care of the taxpayer stuff. And that's the type of stuff that burned me.
I bet.
I'm the same way at the shop, my tools.
Yeah.
I'm actually nervous right now. I left my toolbox unlocked. I hope when I get back, all my tools are still in my box. Because before we did the other buildings, you know, we had everybody who's working in our bay, and every week, Macca would pull up and Snap-on would pull up, and I'd say, just go to the box and see what's missing and replace it.
Wow.
So needless to say, it was time for me to retire. I wasn't getting any nicer.
Wow.
I look at it today, and I don't know. It's a good career.
Yeah.
A lot of good people.
Wow.
You know, I recently went to a lieutenant of mine's service, and his mother asked me to talk about him, and I did. The guy was a workhorse. The guy worked thousands of hours of overtime, and I got up there, and I mean, I was very honored to talk about him. You know, right, wrong, indifferent, good, bad. I mean, you know, throughout the career, you work with people, and you know, I mean, you have, you know, rocky situations. You know, you have to discipline somebody, or you know, they're uptight about you, or so you know, it's not the career wasn't easy, but I was honored to go up there and talk about this guy. I'm retired, and I got up there and I spoke very highly of him. He was that good a dude. You know that I was the only administrator that got up there? His chief didn't even go up there to talk about him. So that's the fire service that I left behind, happily.
Yeah. Yeah, if people don't respect you, it's time to leave it.
You know,
Yeah.
it was just time to go. I was too rough around the edges, too old, you know, you use that word old school. I guess I was too old school.